Everybody, welcome back. It's Sunday, January 31st. We're getting some snow, but it's pretty warm out. It's in the low 30s. So I'm going to mix some silage in the feeder wagon and let the cows out for a while. Let them get out, stretch some. I was going to show you here. Let me turn this around. Actually, I can probably just turn this way. Yesterday we finished off our first bag of silage. We had here corn silage, so that one's gone now. That lasted nice. Just opened this bag yesterday. Just started in there. There's a little bit of a crust frozen on the outside, maybe 6-8 inches deep, but climb up in here a little bit. Stuff is nice. This bag, the bag that we just finished was actually the last stuff that we made. So that was the driest. Normally it wouldn't feed it like that, but I had the hay in one end and stuff, so we just started right in on that bag. So now this stuff here will be, that stuff in the previous bag was about 49-50% moisture. That would have been probably the driest stuff. So now that I got this open, we'll be getting this one tested. See kind of what this is. But anyway, it's nice looking stuff. So get the feeder wagon pulled over here and load some. All right, I got the silage in there now. Quit snowing, I can take that off. I'm going to pull that up here and throw the hay in. Pull it out, let the cows out for a while. I didn't take any video of me loading it because I'm videoing on my phone yet. And there's been something funky going on with the audio. So any real loud tractor noise and stuff like that, it really gets staticky and it's not good. So we did get a new, we picked up a GoPro camera. So once I get that a little more time running that thing, I will be taking video on that. But I wanted to get some today and I didn't have that out here with me. So and then yesterday I got my brother's 530 there, or 530, excuse me, 560. Yesterday we pulled that up. We were having issues with the hydraulics. When it would get really cold, the hydraulics wouldn't work. Hydraulic oil was getting really milky. So figured what was going on. It was getting slushy when it would get cold and clog the filter. So we drained all that out, replaced it, put a new filter in it. Seems to be good now. Did a couple things. One of the few, I looked up milky hydraulic oil on those. One was just lack of not getting enough use to burn the condensation or steam the condensation out. Another one was the bolts that hold the transmission cover on. Can leak around them because they're recessed. So we put some sealer in there. Another thing I want to do, I had an old M Farmall I did the same thing with. Over the shift lever I got a CV boot from like a CV axle on a car, and I put that over there and clamped it on to keep any water from coming in around the shifter. So I want to do that on here too. But another thing we found, and I'm not that familiar with it, but we've changed the filter on it, and the filter was full of this red goop. There's like a fine screen in there too. That was just full of this red goop. Couldn't figure out what it was when we got looking. Well, the cover on the outside that bolts on, that holds the filter in, and then the whole inside where the filter sits was all had at one time been painted red, and that paint was letting loose. And I don't think that was factory. I wouldn't think that would have been painted from the factory inside there, but maybe it was, I don't know. But that paint anyway was letting loose, also clogging the filter. So we got that all cleaned out, got as much of that paint off of there as we could, put it back together. So obviously it's warm today, so it's working, but we'll find out once it gets colder again. But that should help a lot. So anyway, I'm going to pull this up and throw the hay in. I'm going to climb up and throw down some hay. Actually, a couple days ago, we chopped some straw again. Anyway, we just kind of the same thing we did the last couple times, set up that 790 chopper. But one thing different I did, I had been putting that chopper up on ramps to get a higher angle. So I could blow higher up into here where the straw goes. And that was kind of a pain because I wanted to keep sliding. So actually what I did, we took this, if you can see here, the sun will be coming in. Got this tin chute here. It's actually from that Owatonna grain elevator I bought. We hung that up there and stuck that on the chopper chute and pointed it up. Actually worked really well. I could have got more up here yet, but by the time we got set up and everything, I was kind of running out of time. It was short time. But we used to use the, see, where do I have it here? When we used that old silo filler to blow straw up, I've got this pipe here. It's got the curve on it. Hook that into the silo filler, and it's got a little curve, and come up, and you could set that up here, have it blowing, and you could fill this whole thing right up. And I think I could have done the same thing with that chute I had. I can't put that pipe on the chopper because them old silo filler, this pipe is a 6-inch pipe, and the chopper spout would be 9-inch. So anyway, that's why I don't put that on there. The hay spread out on here, I was just going to show you. Got into some different hay up there, and this stuff is some really nice clover, alfalfa, grass mix hay. Boy, the cows, they really go for it. Nice and fine. So anyway, I'm going to pull this out and get them let out. And the cows out there, Johnny, friend of mine, some of you have seen him in some of our earlier videos when we were chopping corn. He just called me. He's got a manure pump similar to the one, or pretty much the same as the one I've got, and he's having some issues with that, so I'm going to run over and help him see if we can get that operating. So anyway, I'm going to pull this out. February 1st, 2021 today. Pretty nice out. It's like in the 30s, I think. Supposed to be warm in the 30s for most of the week, and then get cold this coming weekend, like high of 2 or something, I think. So could be a lot worse, but got some projects I want to try to do before that cold snap hits. One of them, I got this polydome feed tank here I use for heifer feed, and it just has a show underneath here, kind of just a slide bottom here to get feed out of it. And I have trouble with it. Put pails under there to fill. It's hard to get under there, and it doesn't want to shut all the way. It gets feed stuck in there and then it leaks. So anyway, I bought a short auger, and then the company, they make a hopper that goes on the bottom that you can put an auger in. So I am going to try to get that on. I did try to stick it under there now just to see kind of how it fit, and it's still cold enough. The plastic on this tank's pretty stiff yet, so I'm going to bring my heater up here and try to get some heat on there, soften that up a little so it'll stretch. And then I got to drill through, and of course it didn't come with any bolts, so I'm going to have to run and get bolts. And then I got the auger as well. We'll stick the auger in there. And then I have to, I don't know, I got a few other small things to do, so we'll see what we get to today. I did get the radiator back for that little B Farmall. I haven't done anything with the governor yet. It's been colder, so I haven't been monkeying around in there much, but I'm going to pull that governor off and either get a different housing where that bushing is worn, or I don't know that it's a bushing in there. I think the case itself is worn. So get something done there. As far as the crank seal goes, I've been doing some looking and talking to our tractor mechanic we have around here. He's a pretty big international Farmall guy. The way he sounded too, that if that seal's not leaking, or if it's leaking very little, the little bit that we use that tractor, he recommended just leaving it, because you can run into the crank pulley is really hard to get off, easy to crack, and I don't think it is leaking. If it is, it's such a little amount. I mean, the thing doesn't really hardly use much oil at all, so I think that part of it I am just going to leave. I did get a valve cover gasket for it, so I'm going to put that in. We'll do the governor, get that fixed, and then we'll just put it back together and let it rip. So anyway, I'm going to get my heater and stuff wrangled up here and see if we can get going on that. All right, I got the heater going in there now. Just blowing up under here. There's no feed in the tank, so basically what I'm trying to do is these sides, that piece has to fit inside of there, and they're kind of sunk in just from age and being cold and stuff. So I'm just going to try to warm them up a little and get them to come out and make sure that fits in there okay before I start drilling holes and getting bolts. So we'll wait for that to heat up. All right, well, I got that worked good with the heater. I'll show you here. I had the heater running on it for 5 minutes or so, and then that thing popped right in there. So I'll turn this around and show you. Get a little side view here. Oh, stepped on something under the snow, slippery. So this is just I got a plug for this. This is just a clean out hole. But anyway, I got it stuck up in here now. It sits up inside of this piece, and it's actually nice because I still have the slide gate in there. So if I need to pull the auger out or something, I can shut that and be able to work there without trouble. But I'm gonna have to drill in. Looks like they just used 1/4" bolts on the rest of these, so I'll have to drill in and put some bolts in around there to hold it in. But so that'll be a trip to town here this afternoon probably. It is February 3rd today. Pretty nice out, pretty warm, mid-20s right now. I think it's supposed to get in the mid-30s today. Actually, the whole month of January was pretty much above normal, but it sounds like we're going to be paying for that this coming weekend here. Sounds like it's going to be highs in the single digits below zero and lows in the mid-20s below. So I haven't done any more on this feed tank. That's what I'm going to work on now. I've been kind of spending a little more time getting some firewood brought home and stuff like that. Then I went and helped Johnny. We got his manure pump. I think we got that going now, so that was good to get that done before this cold hits. But anyway, I'm going to get back to this feed tank and see if we can get that. I don't know if I'll get the auger completely done or not, but get this bottom on and get started on that. Anyway, I still got some more wood to bring home, and I want to get all these outside cattle, make sure they got plenty of hay, get them bedded up real good. So when this cold weather hits, they got nice bedding to bed down in and stuff. So, but anyway, I picked up bolts for this bottom here on this tank, and I'll show you. I was looking here, and this part of the tank actually has pre-marked spots to drill. So I picked up a bunch of 1/4" bolts. I'm going to drill them through and get them put in. Alright, I'll get that side started first, and then I can get the other side, make sure it's pushed up all the way. The way that chicken is carrying on in there, we should have a whole bunch of eggs. Holy cow. What's up, boys? Yep. Yep. Did you get the feeder wagon all swept out?
Yep. Swept out, loaded out. Oh.
Careful, that slip.
Hate those cat doors. Do you talk anything in the video?
Oh yeah, I've been talking like crazy.
Why is it quiet, chickens?
Oh, push it. Keep pushing it down so I can get this stuff started on there.
Okay. That's as far as it'll go.
Alright, next one. Your hands fit better in that little hole thing than mine do.
I guess mine can fit in better. Right one?
Yep. Can I go?
I can't keep up with
Okay,
it.
yeah, that's fine. Okay, we're good for now. I'm gonna go get a wrench and a socket to tighten these up. We got all them in. I'll move this here.
You know, that's the bad part about these holder things.
All right, we got ones on this side, 4 along the back, and then 5 up this side. So I'll get a wrench and a socket for the drill, or a ratchet or something, and we'll tighten them up. Hey everybody, morning, welcome back. It's February 4th today. Got a little snow last night. I don't know, they said we were supposed to get traced to 1 inch. I don't know, we probably got about 1 inch, maybe a little over. Starting to get windy today. Started out this morning early, it was about 28 degrees I think, and now it's just supposed to keep dropping all day. And then it's going to be below 0. I think the coldest high temperature I seen was Sunday. It's supposed to be like 8 below. So anyway, so today we're going to get all these outside cattle bedded up nice and heavy, so they got plenty of bedding, nestle in that cold weather. I am going to let the milk cows out yet today, but then they probably won't be going out during that next 4 or 5 days of that really cold, other than maybe just for let them out for a little bit to kind of stretch out. We'll run the barn cleaner or whatever. It depends on kind of the wind situation there. But these heifers up here, this pen, they got a little shed there. We're gonna bed that heavy. A couple groups in this barn up here, get them bedded heavy. And then our dry cows and older heifers in this pasture behind the main barn. They don't have, there's no really a shed out there for them, but they can get up in here behind the barn so they're out of the wind. So there's a nice south facing hill there, so we're gonna spread 1 or 2 of them straw bales out and back there, so they got something nice to lay in. And I'll probably pull some hay down there too, because if they go out in the open part of their pasture, the wind can get them pretty good out there. So get them what they need back here. They got water behind the barn and stuff. I was going to show you on this poly feed tank here yesterday. I got video of putting that adapter, that auger adapter on. Then Jen had to, well, that wind is picking up. She had to run over to my folks, took some video there with the horses, but while she was gone, me and the boys, we got the auger put on. Of course, we got the snow on there. Now, I'm not quite done. I got a motor I got to mount on here and put the cover on the front, but I'll turn it around here. It turned out pretty good. I've got just a little ratchet strap here now holding this end up. I'm going to get a couple chains and go out to support this end. But I'll show down in here. I got this open yet down here. But I got the sitting in there nice. Now this hopper I got, it came with a little bushing. You could drill a hole in the back and put in there, and then the auger would have a little shaft on the other end that would go into there to kind of support the bottom end of that auger. But the auger I got is from a different place than where that boot is from. So this auger doesn't have the shaft out the back, so it's just gonna free float in there. But I've got it pulled up so it's not digging into the back wall. But and actually I got feed man came, put feed in there again. I had emptied that tank to so I could change that, but it wound up bolting on underneath the slide door, so I didn't really have to let it empty. But anyway, so I'm gonna go down here, sweep silage back to the cows, get the feeder wagon pulled out, put the silage in there, and I gotta bring that. I got that little bedding chopper over there that I chopped the hay with. I think I'm going to pull that up here and stick it in the barn to melt off, because normally if we're going to get snow, I put it in the shed over there so it doesn't get full of snow, because the belts will slip. But they had said that we weren't really going to get this snow last night. It didn't sound like, but maybe just a dusting, and we got, well, there's probably 1.5 inches down here anyway, so I got more than I expected. So anyway, I'll get that put in and we'll go from there. All right, I got the 560 fired up over here. I got a little feeder wagon chopper box hooked up to it. I got some silage left in there from last night that got snowed on, so I'm just gonna pull that up. I'll run it into the skid steer bucket, and then I can dump that in the feeder wagon. I'll pull it out. The cows eat on that while I let them out today. Connor is gonna come over. For those of you who don't know Connor from previous videos, a friend of mine comes and helps quite a bit. He's gonna stop over today, and on this Farmall B here, I think I talked about it before a little bit. I am not gonna monkey with the crank seal. If it is leaking, I don't think it's leaking very bad because it didn't really use much oil anyway. I think my oil was coming from the valve cover gasket and running down, and then the radiator that had a huge leak in it. But for today, since this cold weather's coming, I want to get the skid steer in here. So he's going to help me bolt the front end back on because it's too heavy for me to mess with myself. We'll get the front end bolted back on, and then I'll just pull this outside. It's not going to hurt this at all to sit out there. And then I can get the skid steer in here, because that's going to be my main machine with this nasty weather coming in. Because that 560, as far as for feeding cows, the distributor I'm having issues with the points on it. So that thing does not start well, especially when it's cold. And it doesn't have a heater to plug it on it. The skid loader has a block heater and stuff, and I can pull this that chopper box wagon around with the skid steer. I don't need PTO to run it. And as far as the dry cows, they'll probably just get hay during this cold stretch and then sweepings out of the barn. And speaking of this 560, the distributor on there, I put points in it last fall because it was acting up, and the pin that the points sit on is loose, so the distributor needed work. There's one of our viewers to our channel got a hold of me and said he would rebuild the distributor for me. He'd pick up a core or used one, go through it, and rebuild it with that electronic ignition in it. So I've been in contact back and forth with him. Really appreciate him doing that. That was really nice. He said just cover the parts on it. He said I'm happy to do it. So that was really nice. I've been wanting to put that electronic ignition in there, but just enough other stuff going on. Haven't had the time to do it. And the bushings in this one were worn too, so he was going to go through that one if it needed bushings, whatever. Anyway, he just got a hold of me today, got all the parts now, and he actually has just started his own YouTube channel here a little while back, so I'll check him out. The channel name is Muffler Delete 101. He's got some cool videos, monkeys a lot with older chainsaws, different things like that. And he's going to do a couple videos on rebuilding this distributor for this 560. So like I said, check him out. A lot of good information there, I think, on that, and it'll be nice to get that. And then I've got to order, I'm going to put the better coil in and the better wires too, so I got to get them yet. But anyway, so that's what's going on with the 560. But when it gets real cold, with them points being bad, it doesn't like to start well. So like I said, that's why I want to keep that skid steer in. It's not heated in that shop, but just being able to keep it in there, I can run a torpedo heater on it if I need to. But anyway, this should be warmed up now. I'm going to pull this up here and go get the feeder wagon. All right, Connor came over. We got the front end on that B. I'm just got it fired up. I don't have the radiator or anything on it yet, so I don't want to run it too long, but I'm going to get it put in the other shed here so it's out of the way so I can get the skid steer in the garage. Kind of the rat rod edition right now. Alright, I pulled it in the shed here, just in the old barn here for now. Keep it out of the weather. But we got the front on. I did go through before we put the front on, and I tightened all them bolts on the timing cover. They were loose, so that could have been leaking a little bit. Possible, but if that was leaking, that oil wouldn't have been winding up in here anyway, because that's behind there. So and I never really noticed much oil on the ground underneath it, so But anyway, I still gotta pull this governor off. I was looking at it. Looks like somebody's been in there, worked on it before. They tried tightening it up. Put a washer in here, and I see some gasket silicone around there, but I'm just gonna get a new housing for it, I think. But anyway, for now, I wanted to get it out of there so I can keep that skid steer in the main garage. But it's actually not too bad yet. I'm going to try to get out, I think, today too and get some more firewood brought up. I do have some more trees in this little grove here behind the house that I can cut, but as much as I can get from out in the woods before my trail drifts in again, the better. But anyway, so yeah, I'm going to try to probably do that too, because nice to have a good stockpile of that when it gets cold. I got to run in and have Jen come out and get the gates for me. The kids, they stayed up at Mom and Dad's last night, so my gate helpers aren't here. So some dry cows, they finished off the hay they had out there this morning. I got to get them some more, but so they're up at the gate. Every time they hear the tractor, then they got to come up there, and so I got to get that feeder wagon out of there. But if I open the gate before I get to the tractor, they'll sneak out. That never fails. Hey chickens, what are you doing out here? You know, you have a nice coop over there that's got a nice heat lamp in it for you, and just out seeing what kind of trouble they can get into, I suppose. Jen will be out here in a little bit. We can get this feeder wagon, and then I can get some hay out for them dry cows.
Here, girls. Back up. Back up. Hey, Duchess. Totally forgot to mention our new heifers we got. That's Delta, and then up there is Domino. We got them from a friend of ours. He had originally bought them for his kids for 4-H, but his son decided he was more interested in race cars and girls than in cows. It happens. But we're really excited about them. They're originally from a robot herd in Alexandria. She's really nice looking. I definitely want to take her to the fair.
bale of hay. Come on, let's go.